Aloha, everyone. We are live and inspired today. Thanks so much. Like and subscribe, share the video. Thank you so much. Nah, I'm just joking. I'm just messing around. Okay, so our volumes are good. We're good. We're awesome. All right, my beautiful ones. We are back again. Who am I? Who is this sexy, handsome, robust motherfucker on the microphone right now? Dirk McGurk, son of a bitch. Oh yeah, you know who it is. It's handsome Cobra, baby. Come on now. Come on, sugar. You know who it is. All right. Give me those smooth jams. 106.7. Smooth jazz. Yeah, baby. Okay, I'm sorry. uh I'm just making a damn idiot of myself right now. But no. Aloha, everyone. We are live and inspired today. I am your host, Gregory Cobrana, also known as Handsome Cobra. And today I'm doing a topic that I wanted to do for a while. And I've been avoiding it because it's pretty serious. It's pretty serious stuff. I'm not gonna lie, I tried to do it last night. I was listening to it a little bit and I was like, I mean, there was a lot of things. Number one, it was late at night. Number two, I kind of fucked up on a couple of things on like phrasing and stuff. So I was like, you know what? Let's take it back one more time. Let's try to do. Now I am gonna go over some things that I did say, because yeah, because in the original one there are things I said that are true. I mean, and then there's things that I was just kind of like, okay, like I was either misinformed or stuff like that, or I said or I used the wrong language, which language context is everything these days. So I just want to redux this, remix this, or whatever hell you want to call it, revised version. So yeah, that's what we're going to get into. And the reason why I believe, and I'm just going to start off, the reason why I believe mental health is a serious topic and a serious issue is because I deal with my own mental health and issues. And I will say straight up, I suffer from a condition that I developed in the military. Uh, it's it's very common among military vets, especially people in war, but you can also get it from uh, uh, events that are very terrifying, things that uh, emotionally make you very distraught, just put you in a place where you don't want to be. You're always terrified. You're always in. You have a lot of anxiety and things like that. You have episodes, sometimes out of the blue. So, um, if you, I mean, I know I'm giving breadcrumbs here, so I'm pretty certain that my audience is pretty smart and can put the pieces together. So, but yeah, that's a condition that I suffer from, and I've suffered from it from my first deployment. At least that's what they theorize, that's what happened. That I've been living with it, and because like I said before, I mean, I'm a multiple time combat vet, so it's like, I probably was on other deployments going through this stuff, right? But it's like when you're in combat, when you're kind of like going from one deployment and you take like 3-4 months off, and then next thing you know, you get re-upped again, or they're like, hey, you got to go back to the shit, um, or it's like your country needs you. It's like you don't have time to process that stuff. You just don't have time to, like, you're just like, okay, back to the sandbox, back to theater. It's just, and I'm not trying to make light of it. and I'm not trying to laugh about it or joke about it, but it's one of those things that I do because I'm so used to like gallows humor, and I'm so used to taking things that are really serious and trying to at least break it down and poke fun at it at my expense, because it's easier for me to digest. It's easier for me to understand. So yeah, and that's something that I've been living with. I still live with. I still have episodes. I still have flashbacks and stuff like that, and things that happen. You know, I and one of the things, and I'm not gonna lie, sometimes it happens at the gym, which is like the gym is supposed to be my safe place, right? And that's what I was going to get into a little bit too, like mental health for me. The reason why I I work out so much, or the reason why, like, if you see me before, like, under Johnny Love show when he was on Gentleman Cocktails, he was like, "God damn, look at the man's arms." I don't. I mean, and let me tell you something. This is all natural, no added preservatives, no added juice. I mean, I try to eat healthy. I try to eat clean. I try to, yeah, I do. I tend to overstress my muscles a lot, if you will, but not overstress them too much to where like I'm overworking out. But yeah, I mean, it's in some parts of my body, like my arms and my chest. I mean, I can develop very naturally, very very quickly. My back as well. My calves, on the other hand, they're underdeveloped. I mean, if you look at me, I mean, you're like, God damn, man, what the hell's going on, man? The fucking, you got like little kids' legs, man. I mean, and it's more my calves, not really so much my thighs. It's just, I mean, someone would say, God damn, man, you got like chicken legs, man, or at least half a chicken leg. And it doesn't matter how much overstressing my calf muscles I do, they just never really grow. They grow stronger, yes, but like width wise and just development wise, as in like bulkierness, no, not really. And it's just genetics. It's just that is something that where it comes into genetics. I know I'm getting off this a little bit, getting off topic, but it's just I'm just trying to paint a picture for people that because I always, okay, I'm sorry. I know I'm kind of stammering a bit. Take a breath. The problem with me is that my mind goes 200 miles an hour and my mouth only moves twos a lot of times. So I have all these thoughts and things in my brain, and it's kind of scattered. And I try to put it in a pattern, or at least in a place where it actually makes sense, because there's so much I want to say, there's so much I want to talk about. But what happens is that I get really, I don't want to say flustered, but I start talking about one thing, and then like if it's a brick road, a brick gets removed or a brick gets broken, so I have to skip to another one. So I'm doing this skipping around, and next thing you know, it's like I skip around so much that I forget why the hell I'm on this brick road in the first fucking place. As an analogy, I hope that's a good one. And then sometimes I try to, and then by doing so much skipping, I tend to come back and I remember. It's like, oh yeah, that's what it was all about, and I can walk again. It's no more broken bricks or missing bricks. But the gym is a thing that I do because, and like I was saying before, I mean, I overstress my muscles and stuff like that, because it's, for me, the gym is a safe place. It's my church. It's my temple. It's where I go to consult with myself, consult. Uh, but sometimes, and I will say this, where I seek wise counsel, that's another place for the gym. And the problem is that sometimes, I mean, like even that sanctuary, it gets invaded. I mean, it does. And like I said before, like I will have episodes at the gym sometimes, and it's not healthy. It's not. Um, but I control it. I maintain it. I do. I do. I recognize. Sometimes I will just have to. Uh, One of my older brothers, Mark, uh, who I love and respect the hell out of, he told me that, hey, when you have this episode, when you flashback, when you go back, when you feel like you're in imminent danger, or you have that fight or flight, and a lot with me, it's all fight. Like I will feel the flight. I will say that. I swear to God, I will feel it. But for some reason in me, I'm like no, and I fight, and that's just how I am. That's how I've always been. For the most part, when I was a little kid, it wasn't so much. But I think back about all those things that I wish I did when you'll have something where it's like, and maybe some people who are listening to this can relate. You'll have something to where it's like, God, man, I wish I was older. I wish I was 16 and I could just beat that fucker's ass, or I wish I was like 15, or it's like I would just fucking my uncle tried to do some shit to me, and I or whatever. My uncle, tried to grab me by the scruff of my neck, or tried to grab me by my shirt and tried to fucking hit me, start trying to welt on me. And I just, I wish I was older. I wish I wasn't fucking 8. I wish I was like, you know, a teenager, so I could just bop him one fucking time in the mouth. Stuff like that. Right. And, and so that's where the fight comes in. The fight, I'm like, I think back to certain things, certain aspects like that, as like, I wish I did this, but I didn't have the training. I wasn't old enough. I wasn't big enough. So I think back to all that stuff, like, and it usually goes, I don't know, man. It just, all the shit goes in my head in like seconds. And I'm like, no. And then I just fight. I just go nuts the bolts, man. And just, I fight. And that's just how I've been ever since, man. And like I said before, I wasn't always a fighter. Um, it, it's hard to, because you have to condition yourself that way, and that's just what it is. It's just conditioning. But the more and more you do that, the more and more you're like, no, I'm standing my ground. I'm conditioning myself. And once you have that single mindset, it doesn't matter. It just becomes second nature. But so yeah, my brother Mark, getting back on topic, my brother Mark was like, hey, listen, look, man, when an episode starts, when you start feeling that, man, if you feel like a certain smell come back, you start feeling anything, if you start hearing voices or screamings or crying or feeling, like sand or anything like that, hey, listen, look, man, just be like, no, I'm not there. I'm here. Look at, take inventory, look at your perspective, notice certain things, like, hey, there's a mirror here. Hey, I'm in a room. Like, analyze where the hell you're at first. Now, it's not always going to be easy. It's going to be very hard, but just remember, but just try to analyze things first and be like, okay, why the hell are they here? And oh shit, I'm not back. I'm not back. I'm here in the present. And I mean, and it's honestly him doing that, him saying, hey, have these focal points, that's actually really helped, man. And I've also had, and I will say this, I've also had uh, I think psychiatric care or psychological. I've talked with a psychologist and psychiatrist before too. I've done group therapy and therapy one-on-one with the VA at the VA, and it's helped. I mean, it's helped. I mean, it's one of those things where, I mean, it does help, and I continue to do that stuff. I mean, with both of them, it's one of those things. I will say this. I think just for me, I think the one-on-one therapy is better than the group therapy. I mean, group therapy, it's good. If I could only do one, I would rather do the. I mean, the one-on-one's good, but group therapy, it's like you hear other people and you're like, damn, man. I mean, these people have it as worse or worse than I do. I mean, or you're like, I'm not alone. And actually you can make friends that way. You actually can find a place in the world. And that's a good thing. And for me, it was, like I would say a lot of like my mental health, and I would say stems from a lot, like I guess, like if because okay, so I'm gonna break it down. Like, this condition I have started in the military, right? So before that, I come from a divorced family, and my mom, my pops, they were having troubles, and my older brother Carl and I, we lived with our mom, and she lived with her parents. And the thing is that it was just like, her father was an alcoholic, or my mom says recovering alcoholic. Her mom, was just a little old lady who came from a different era, a different time, where it's just the man ruled the roost. It's like she didn't really say anything. She didn't really stick up. It's like her husband's word, my mother's father, his was the house. His was final, I guess. And that's the thing, is that and so, and I talked to both my parents about, like, okay, what happened here and what happened there. Why did you guys, decide to call it quits? And it's a lot of, I mean, I probably will say, yeah, I don't want to get into it, but I probably will get into it. A lot of it has to deal with, my dad, he did some real fucked up shit to my mom. And I mean, I understand why he did it. I don't understand why my mom thinks that, divorce from my pops was a better solution, and having her bring us to her parents and live with them on and off. It's just one of those things. I never understood it, and I never will. I mean, it's like, and also too, growing up with Christmases where my mom would literally put clothes on layaway in the summer, and then when over the lead up to Christmas, she would pay it all off, right? So our Christmases were full of clothes. Now, our father, on the other hand, he would bring us all fucking toys and stuff. I mean, he worked labor pool, day labor, and stuff like that to make sure that we had a great Christmas. I mean, our father was the man when it came to that shit. Now, I'm not taking anything away from my mom, and I'm not being a bastard or anything like that to my mom. I love my mother. And the thing was that we were poor growing up, but we weren't like the poverty level to where we could actually have government assistance. So we couldn't have food stamps. I remember being in primary school, man, and I couldn't even get what they call free lunches, right? I mean, I see all these other kids, man, getting free lunches and stuff because apparently, and I'm like, you know, well, why they get it? It's like, I mean, I got a ma that that works her ass off, and my pops is barely around at this point because of the troubles that they went. I mean, I call them the troubles. This is the time of the troubles for them because it's like, I mean, at that point they didn't know what the fuck they were doing, but finally they get divorced and stuff like that. And that's the thing, man, is that and then just knowing as a child that something's wrong, but you don't know what the fuck it is, and then learning about it later, it's just like, you know, and that's what I do. I dwell on stuff like that. I mean, that's what I do. I mean, but I mean, I take all that negativity, man. I take all that negative shit, and I just put it to positive use, man. I just put it to working out, man, or like what I did in the military. I mean, all that negative shit, man. I want to tell you, like, it just fueled my fire, my rage, man. So when I could go into war and just like do what I had to do to get the fuck back, yeah. I mean, that's what, you know, and whatever I did overseas, man, I mean, good or bad, man, I don't give a fuck. I got paid to do a job. I got paid to, you know, to go into a country that where fucking terrorism thrived, and came to our country, America, and infiltrated us with 9/11 and stuff like that, and I don't feel bad for anything I did, man. Even if, you know, things weren't of the Geneva Convention or ROE. I don't give a shit. You think I care? I mean, if people, you know, if somebody wants to criticize me because of something I did or something someone claims I did overseas that is not in regulations, then they could go fight the fucking war and they can see the horrors. They can fucking see, you know, people get blown up by fucking IEDs, little kids fucking had the goddamn hands blown off by explosive devices and shit. I mean, they can go fight. I don't care, man. You know, they can be the ones who dismount and the assaulting objective for a person who's basically a HVT, high value target. They can be in a fucking crow's nest in a sniper position doing fucking inner cordon fucking Overwatch for other assaulting objectives. I don't give a shit if that's what if that's what that amounts to. I know I'm getting into some really deep fucking, I guess, nerdy military shit right now, but it's just one of those things where, and this is where my mind goes, right? Because it's one of those things where, I mean, I've been called, you know, hey, I've been called anything from under the sun and above the sun. I mean, and what I mean by that is that, you know, I've been called stuff that, you know, make the devil blush, but I've also had people come up to me and, you know, say, hey, son, I'm proud of you. You know, thank you for defending our freedoms and stuff like that. So I mean, it's not all bad. It's not all good. It's just, it is what it is, man. But I don't make any excuses, and I don't apologize for anything I did over there. So it's like, and that's just it. And that's one of those things too, where you gotta, and maybe you listen to this and you're like, God damn, this dude's conflicted, man. And it's like, yeah, I am. I'm a very complex person. I'm a fucking human being. Of course I am. I mean, everything ain't fucking black and white. There's a lot of shades of gray, especially in the military, because there's the right way, the wrong way, and then there's the military way. And the military way ain't always the right way, nor is it the wrong way. It's just the way you do shit. And a lot of times, yeah, you just, you know, you might deny plausibility, accountability. You might deny shit, or you might just be like, man, that's above my pay grade. You know, ask my squad leader, ask my fucking platoon sergeant, ask my CEO, you know, or whoever's in charge. It's like, aren't you in charge? Yeah, but I'm in charge of these. I'm not in charge of these guys. I ain't in charge of fucking, making all the decisions. I mean, shit, trickle down, baby. And I know I'm getting off topic a little bit, but it kind of relates to what I'm talking about, because you can see, because even myself just kind of analyzing what I'm saying is like, I'm conflicted a bit. I'm conflicted a little bit about talking about this stuff. I'm conflicted about, how much do I say? How much do I not say? What should I say? How should I word it? Things of that nature. I mean, yeah, I'm conflicted. I'm a human being, man. I mean, I have emotions and feelings and a thought process where at the end of the day, man, it's like, I don't know if I make the right or wrong decisions, but I do make a fucking decision. I did make those decisions, hard choices. And at the end of the day, if a person can just listen to this, if they can just say that, well, goddamn, this guy's human. It's like, yeah, no shit. I'm only human. And I tried to do the best I can, and I just want people to know that, hey, if you're human too, then you're not alone. If you're dealing with mental health issues, you're not alone. I mean, the best way I can deal with my mental with having a good and healthy mental health is by working out, for the most part. But there's so much working out my body can physically handle until I start breaking down, right? And that's just it. So working out helps me, because it just not makes me physically strong, it makes me mentally strong. It helps me to it builds confidence in me. It's like when people like I said before, I mean, I work at GameStop, right? And when I have people come in, man, to like a fucking geek store, one-stop geek shop, and they're like, God damn, bro, you got some big ass fucking arms, man. It's like, yeah. I mean, that makes me feel good. Because it's like, because people have this thing of like, that people at GameStop should be like fucking nerdy, and they should be into playing video games and stuff. And it's like, listen, look, man. I mean, it's a job. First and foremost, it's a job, and that's how you got to view. I don't give a fuck, man, if you play video games or not. I definitely can understand. Hey, you got to pay rent, you got to pay child support, you got to make sure that your daughter has clothes on her back and shoes on her feet, and got to have fucking lunch money and all that jazz. Yeah, I understand that shit. I mean, fuck, man, I understand that. No doubt. So yeah, it's like, so I mean, if I were a customer, which I am a time GameStop, other GameStops, and you don't know the hell about this fucking game, I ain't gonna say, well, goddamn, man, don't you know your craft? It's like, no, because your craft is advising people. It's like you're a guest advisor, or back in the day, used to be a game advisor. So, and you're advising people on like what game they should get if they're split on something, or if they're split on a decision. It's like, it's your job to be like, hey, listen, look, I've heard great reviews about this. I haven't played it myself. I'm very intrigued by it, but hey, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, really great. I mean, I've seen gameplay of it, and it looks fucking phenomenal. I mean, right now we have it on sale for $20. I don't know if we do right now, but I'm just saying, this is all, what is it? Speculative and just hypothetical. Games on sale for $20. Usually it's $60. It's $19.99 right now instead of $59.99. So yeah, I mean, that's a steal. I mean, I would pick it up. See, there you go. Exactly. But that's the thing, man, is that, and yeah, and like I said before, about like the mental condition that I have, or the condition that I have, it's one of those things where man, does it affect me at work? Does it? No, not yet. And that's just one of those things, man. It's just like, have I had an episode yet? No, because I have it under control. Because there are certain things, certain breathing, certain things that I do, like what I was talking about with my brother before, my brother Mark, showing me, telling me, certain things that I can do to make damn sure that I don't have an episode there. Because I will say this, like this is in like I used to have an ex-girlfriend. We were together basically 2 years. I mean, we were less than 2 years because it would have been 2 days. If 2 more days that we were together, it would have been like straight up 2 years that we were together. Now we had been dating on the regular for like, I think like 3 to 6 months before that, or at least we knew each other 3 to 6 months before that. And it's like we were curious about one another and stuff like that. But I mean, like actual like dating, going out and actually seeing, hey, let's see if we both enjoy each other's company. Now that was like 2 years in the making. So, but like officially boyfriend girlfriend type stuff. So yeah. But yeah, uh, she visited my ma and my pops, and I know what I said about my mom, my pops being divorced. It's like, well, that was my biological mother. No disrespect to my, but my second ma, her name's Lako. She's my ma. I've known her ever since I was, ever since ever since I was a little kid, or yeah, and ever since in my younger years, Florida, but adolescent, if you will, I guess, because like kids more or less more like, when you're like 8 and fucking 10 or 5, So yeah, I should say, let me revise that statement, because I say kid a lot, and that's my fault, and that's where the miscommunication gets. In my adolescence, Lako has always been my second mom. Even when I was having troubles with my in my adolescent years, when I was having major problems with my own biological mother, and like we were not cool for a very long time. My biological mother and I, Lako was like telling me, "Hey, don't leave her on her island, but don't write her out of your life. She's the one who you and your father are. She's one half of you and your pops. So it's like." And it's like, I understand that you can't deal with her right now, but don't excommunicate her. And if it wasn't for her, then I probably I probably would have just said, I would probably never have spoken to my mom again, my biological mother. And I'm thankful for that as well, for Lako, because she's a great, amazing woman. I'm totally glad her and my pops found each other. But yeah, so getting back on point, my ex-girlfriend and I, or my girlfriend at the time, I should say, just her and I went to see my parents, South Florida. And I had an episode because we went out with my pops, Lako had to work. And so my girlfriend at the time, her and I, we go out to fucking Starbucks, man. And I know we went to a department store too. Or we went to the mall, and I can't remember what department store we went to, but I started flipping the fuck out. And now you have to understand that the Starbucks is like right next to the mall, so it's kind of like we basically drove to Starbucks, got some coffee, then we drove. It's basically like one of those big parking lots, so the Starbucks was kind of like at the entrance. And then we drove a little bit, found a close parking space, to the mall, and then we went to a department store. So like I'm having an episode because my father just keeps on asking me, "What's your problem? What's your problem? What's your pro-" like he's because some people, I don't know. I think it was because there was like some just rude ass people, man, and I'm like, yeah, this is why that's why I don't miss Florida, because Florida is a bunch of rude fucking people. At least from my perspective. Maybe other people may be like, oh, they're nice. It's like, well, from my perspective, man, I lived there for a good bit. Rude fucking people, especially South Florida. My God, just totally into their own fucking heads. But yeah, so I started flipping the fuck out a little bit, and I was having to do counting, I was having to do breathing, I was having to do the what what Mark, my brother, taught me, and that shit wasn't working. So I had to get the fuck out. And my father was just like, "What's the matter? What's wrong? What's wrong?" I'm like, "Hey, don't worry about it, Pop. Don't worry about it." And then so we go in this department store, man. And we go, shit. I can still feel the tension, right? So going to this fucking department store, man, and I don't know what it is, but my pops, he kept on he just doesn't let things go. He will hound you and bark at you and just keep on fucking on it. It's like, dude, just let it drop. It's like, and then, and, I was getting to a point where I was just about ready to lash out at him. Just fucking, just to king and country, man. Just, it was bad. And, my girlfriend at the time, she just took my father and be like, hey, let's look at this. And when we got back, I was just like, I was so enamored, and I fucking, that she did that, and fucking swooped her up like fucking my man Captain Marvel, basically almost in one hand, and scooped her up and kissed her. I mean, and I thanked her for that, because my father was just kind of like, God damn, man, he just kept on with the shit. And then finally, he kind of like, hey, can we talk? I'm like, yeah, man. And then we finally talk, and I'm like, dude, it's, yeah, you don't understand. And he's like, oh, I don't know. I'm like, yeah, Pops, but that's the thing. It's like, don't you understand, man? When something's like in danger, you don't keep on going to danger. It's like you go the other way. It's like, what are you? Crazy? I mean, probably, because I'm that way too. But I mean, I understand, and that's the thing, is that I understand why because my pop, he's a problem solver. Because he saw his son hurting. I understood. I mean, we talked, and it was just one of those things where he saw his son hurting. He saw something was happening to his son. He didn't know why. He didn't know what was going on, and he wanted to help, but he didn't know how to help. And the problem is that at the end of the day, he didn't realize that he was just making things worse by trying to help. But by doing nothing, he would have helped me a lot. I mean, and that's the thing, because and I understand why too, because he was like, hey, listen, look, I know my son's not fine. I know he's telling me he's fine, but he's not fine. What the fuck is going on? I understand. That's how I am. That's how, because my father, he's a smart dude, man. It's like, I'm pretty smart too. And we can deduce situations very easily, or we can come up with a conclusion very easily. It's like, we're some smart motherfuckers. But the problem with us is that we don't let shit go. And I'm that way too. It's, I can't blame my father. I cannot blame him for being the way, God love him, Christ love him, and I love him. But it's just wrong time, wrong place, bad decision on wanting to help. But yeah, but that's the thing, is that the reason why I'm telling this story is because if somebody were to hear this, maybe you've had the similar situation. Maybe this can help you out. It's like, yeah, goddamn, man, yeah, I have my mom. She's the same fucking way, man. It's like she hinders more than helps. And that's why I bring up that story, because listen, look, you're not alone. Okay. Or maybe if someone puts a comment below, let me know, hey, make sure that I know I'm not alone either. But that's why I'm telling you that story, because it's just one of those things that yeah, hey, these are things that I struggle with too. And like I said, at work, I get, man, you don't know how many crazy people, man, come into the store that I'm just like, are you fucking insane? Like, I'm thinking this, I can't curse at work. And I don't like to. It's a public setting. I mean, I don't like cursing in public places, even though, yeah, I mean, this is on YouTube's and it's public. I mean, and it's hypocritical. Yeah, I know. But this is my channel. And at least to some degree, to some extent, I can control the narrative a bit, unless I do something that violates YouTube policy, and you know what I'm saying. But at least at the end of the day, I control somewhat of the narrative here in what I'm saying. But there, it's like I see people come in and, man, I'm like, you must be out of your buku cocoa nuts mind, you know. If you're gonna try to deal some shit, are you fucking, and I'm just like, man, this is nuts. And I mean, because, yeah, and one could say after listening to this is like, that's the pot calling the kettle black there, pal. But oh man, it's pretty funny. And yeah. But it's just, you don't see how much ridiculousness that I have to work with, or deal with, sometimes. It's just one of those things, man. And I just feel sorry for people sometimes. It's like, I'm just like, damn, man. It's like, that just sucks. Or sometimes if I'm in a mood, I'm like, I just don't have time for your shit. And because we're human, we all have that in us. I mean, but yeah, I see so many crazy things, man, at work. It's just like, man, am I living? Am I really? Is this reality? Did Thanos get the Reality Stone, punch me with the Infinity Gauntlet one time, and fucking just punch my ass through reality into another reality? Because shit, this is crazy. But yeah, so, and that's just one of those things too. And so, like, I'll get back a little bit more into like the past and stuff about me, because because I'm just because it kind of sets, and like I said before, kind of helps paint a picture. So, like, my parents with the troubles, going through their stuff when I was younger, and then one thing too, another thing too, like, I had very poor hygiene when I was a kid. I mean, I remember sometimes, man, I would have like lice in my hair, right? I don't know where the fuck I got it from. I mean, I couldn't tell you. I mean, I knew that I didn't know what deodorant was. I could uh, sometimes I didn't really know how to properly, like, use soap and water. You know, um, I didn't know what shampoo was. I didn't know what conditioner was. And you gotta understand, man. Like, my mom, like, she did the best she could, man. But she tried to raise me and my older brother, and my older brother. He A lot of the responsibility fell on him, my older brother Carl. But the thing was, man, is that motherfucker, he did not want to deal with me. He did not want to deal with a younger brother, right? He didn't want to deal with me. He just didn't. He wanted to be away from home. That dude, as soon as he was 16, when he got his uh when he got his Mustang, that motherfucker was never around. That guy was gone. And that's the same thing with, and that's when I had my first car, man, my 95 Dodge Spirit, man, I was gone too. I mean, I never, man, I would stay out late by myself, man. I didn't give a fuck. I mean, it's just one of those things. I never want to go home. I would rather sit in a fucking parking lot, man, than have to deal with, the craziness of my biological mom and her fucking parents. I mean, it and just having just waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting until I could. And that's like the thing about like what I was telling you about like my mom, with the putting the clothes on layaway and stuff, right? And our Christmases were that. It's like, yeah, I mean, uh, as soon as I turned 16, I bought my own clothes. I would buy stuff from Eddie Bauer. I'd buy stuff from American Eagle. You know, the Gap was kind of big at that time too. So I mean, I did have some clothes from the Gap. Uh, our father started making some pretty good money, and he would buy us clothes as well. He didn't have to, but he did. I still paying child. And this is one of my parents are divorced, so he's paying child support too. You know, and like my mom, she would always get on my father's ass about child support. And this is where the conflict comes in. I'm just kind of like, what, woman, if you just didn't divorce my dad's ass, or if you don't have to fucking worry about that. I mean, that's where my mind goes. It's like, you have to understand, man. It's like, yeah, my pops, he may have fucked around on my mom, but it's just one of those things. She didn't like divorce my dad because she thought it was best for us kids, man. She divorced my pops, man, because it was best for her, and that's straight up. I mean, and I wasn't there, but it's one of those things, man, where it's like when you have kids involved. I mean, the only thing I could understand, like, if my father, fucked around and he got some other fucking chick pregnant, and he had like a kid outside of the family. I'm like, okay, I could understand my mom just being like, fucking, just, that's it. I can't have this because you have I could, even if she wanted to use the term bastard, you have a bastard child with like this other woman. Fuck that. I could understand that. Uh, because I don't know what it is to be like a woman. I'm not a woman. Okay, I'm a man looking at this, but it's one of those things. But I am a pragmatic dude, and I do look at the situation like, listen, look, he didn't get someone pregnant. He yeah, he fucking cheated on you, but it's like one of those things where it's you fucking, you just gotta. I'm not saying you gotta be happy with it. It's just something you gotta work out, because really, it's like you gotta do what's best for your children, for us. I mean, and that's the thing. It's like, and I know people can say, well, that's hindsight, man. It's like, yeah, but if you know my parents, man, like, they all about one up in each other. And the thing was is that my grandparents, man, they let my mom stay with them, right? I mean, while my parents were going through this shit, I mean, I don't know why the fuck, like, um, why we're there in the first fucking place. The next thing you know, all of a sudden, my pops doesn't come around no more. He has fucking visitation rights, man, every other fucking Sunday, man. Taking us to the fucking beach, the shoreline, man. It's like, what the fuck is going on here, man? You know how much that fucking can hurt the development of a fucking kid's uh, uh, mental health and development. I mean, it's just one of those things, man. It's not good. Not good for anybody. And it's like, I don't care, man, if my parents were to listen to. I mean, they don't fucking listen to YouTube. So, but even if they did, I don't care. I don't, because it's stuff that I've had to live with all my life, man. All my life, I've had to live with this shit of like, of my ma thinking that it was better to go and have us being helped raised with her alcoholic father just because. And that was a place where she tried to get the fuck out of as quickly as she could. As soon as she got out of high school, as soon as she graduated high school and was like 18, 17, whenever the fuck she graduated, I mean, she was out of there. She was out. She was not fucking trying to deal with that shit. And she thought it was a good idea to bring both my my brother Carl and I there back to that hellhole. I mean, I don't. It's like she did it for selfish reasons, man. She did it because she was mad at my father, and well, I mean, and also too, she had nowhere else to go probably. But she didn't have to stay there. I mean, my father would, would come to the doorstep and stuff from what both my mom and my father was saying, and I mean, do I wish things were different? I don't know. I mean, would I be the same man I am today talking to you? Probably not. But I'm just saying that this is what things, if anything, man. I understand that people do stupid, fucked up things, but is it worth risking and ruining your children's lives over, or the possibility of it? I mean, it's not like we were some rich white family, right, in the movies where the dude cheats on the fucking housewife with the secretary and shit, and next thing you know, it's like, no, man, this is real world fucking problems, man. I mean, first world problems, but real world problems, real family fucking dynamic shit. Where basically both of my parents were fucking like, were working, man, and we had babysitters and shit and stuff like that. And like I said, they were both blue collar people, man. And so basically they made every day, because there was two paychecks coming in, they made shit work when there was only one fucking paycheck coming in, and one paycheck that basically said that to the US government, hey, listen, look, you make too much goddamn money to get our assistance for you and your boys. What does that do? Right? I mean, and it's just one of those things. And I can't fault my mom because, it's she you know, she she's the type of woman that if you are a person of authority, or have some type of authority, she'll believe you. That's the way she is, because she believes in the simple fact that, oh, you went to college, you did this, or you're at this stature where, yeah, you got to be smart to be this type of person. I mean, and this is my perspective, my how I view. This is once again, these are my thoughts on it. But that's how my biological mom is. Like, if you show her any type of authority, she will most likely believe it 9 times out of 10, unless if it's just something shady and she's like, mm. But yeah, if you she will kind of go along with it. I mean, and it's bad to say, I don't know, but it's from my perspective, man, it's the truth. But that's why you gotta have good mental health, man. You gotta have good mental health, ladies and gentlemen. You cannot let that shit corrupt you. As much as, I mean, if it wasn't for working out, man, I would be probably dead. Literally, I would be fucking dead. Uh, if it wasn't for working out, I probably would have never been in the military. If it wasn't for working out, I probably would have never graduated college. because it was working out that took me and took all that negative shit that I just talked about, my parents, my my father's adultering ways, everything, right? My brother, my older brother not wanting to be around me, just wanting to fucking just adios, motherfuckers. I'm gone. All that shit. And just put it into something that was positive, something that now people say, God damn, man, look at your goddamn muscles. You know, you got some big ass fucking arms, man. Look at you, Jesus Christ, man, you got a big ass chest, man. Them traps, holy fuck, man. You're like Bane. Oh yes, Batman. Yes, Batman, yes. You know. but but yeah, it's one of those things, man. And the reason why I say that I would probably be dead because I would either be homeless, I would have no purpose, I may have become a druggie, you know, and just OD'd or something. Excuse me, you know, and that's what I mean by I'd probably be dead uh, because I would never have found a purpose to my life. I mean, I guess on some level, I'm still trying to find purpose in my life because I shit, man. Because I mean, I've said this before on another one, but it's like when I went into the military, like I was just kind of I was pretty much done with everybody, and and the war kicked off, and I figured I could use my talents uh, to go overseas and fight a war, and whatever they wanted me to do, I would do because I began 3 hots on a cot. I began paid. I never had to, deal with my parents ever again. And if for some reason, and the thing I wanted was I wanted death, man. I wanted death to come for me. And I could just die a hero in their eyes. Like I said before, I am not a hero, but at least they could say that, hey, their son, that they were proud of him because he fought a war, he died overseas defending this country. And maybe, their son's death could inspire others. You know, it's like the whole Achilles thing, right? Like, because Achilles was told that basically by his mother that if you go over to Troy, you will die, but you will become immortal. Everyone will know your name, right? If you don't go, most likely you'll live a long life. But Achilles being Achilles, it's like, well, fuck it, I want to be immortal. I want, and he is. Everyone knows who Achilles is. I mean, he's not immortal in the way of life, of living, in the physical realm, but through books and history and stuff like that, he has become immortal up to this point. So. And maybe in my mind, in my own mind's eye, somewhere deep down in my psyche, I wanted to taste that immortality too, because of all the shit I've had to go through in life. That I just felt like, if I die, it would be a good death. It'd be a glorious death. If there's a Valhalla, that hopefully I can get in it. No. But yeah, so but yeah, and I'm telling you this right now. If I can do it, then anybody can do it. If with my with the condition that I got, If anybody can do it, if I can do it, anybody can do it. But you got to want to be better. You got to want to be better for yourself. You got to want to be better for your family. I mean, right now, I mean, my biological mother and I, we have a healthier relationship and stuff. Like she still lives in Central Florida. I never really see her all that much. I really don't have. I really don't want to. I may sound like a bad son. Like my father and my other mother, like I would like to see them more, but it's just one of those things where I'm happy here in John City, Tennessee. I'm happy. I really am. I mean, I'm getting my shit together. I'm getting my life together, and I'm happy. I know if I were to go back to Florida, let me tell you something. If I stay 2 weeks, if I stay 2 weeks longer than 2 weeks in Florida, I'm a sad puppy. It's not good. It's not healthy. It's just going back to that cesspool, and it's not. I don't mind visiting, but it's just one of those things where it will deteriorate my mental health, and that's why being in this place, being alone is good for me. Also, too, like, and that's what I want to also tell people too, that if you're alone, if you're lonely, don't feel bad. I make fun of being alone and loneliness, and I make fun of people of people of all shapes and sizes and everything. Okay, I make fun of myself, you know. I mean, that's the thing, is that I don't consider myself a comedian, but it's just I'm so used to gallows humor. It's and things of a sardonic nature that it just I'm not affected by it. And I'm like, listen, look, my humor isn't meant to harm people, isn't meant to be a weapon, right? It's not meant to do psychological permanent damage to a person or emotional damage. I swear to God, I don't do that for those reasons. I do not have any malice intent when I make a joke, right, about it. Or if I'm saying, listen, look, I'm just roasting you, I'm joking, I didn't mean it. If I'm telling you that, then that means, hand to God, I didn't mean it in that way. It's just like having your buddies busting your balls, but sometimes they can bust them. You're like, hey man, come on, man, how many more times you gonna bust my balls, man, about something? It's like, Jesus, like, dude, you've already done it, man, like 5-10 times already, man, throughout the fucking day. Just cool it. Like, oh shit, okay, man, my bad. Sorry, yeah, you're right. You know, stuff like that. I mean, it's just one of those things. But yeah, just you gotta make sure that you're good. Yeah. And and like I said before, if you're alone, if you're feeling lonely, it's okay to be alone. It's okay to be lonely. We all get that way. I do. I'm alone now, and at times I feel lonely. I'm human. I ain't gonna lie about that. I know in past videos I've said, "Ah, shit, man, I'm alone, but I ain't lonely." It's like, yeah, I do get lonely. Damn right. Everybody does. I mean, you wouldn't be fucking human if you didn't. But just know that loneliness does not have to last. And a lot of times, man, people will say that, well, you gotta change that shit. Sometimes you just can't change that shit. And what I mean is sometimes it is out of your control. I'll tell you another story. Okay, so there's like this lady, man, like I was digging on for a while. And man, like I gave her my card. I talked to her just like a normal human being, and she like never fucking called my ass back. Never. And I'm like, damn, man, what the fuck's going on? I'm thinking, I'm like, Rico Suave. and all this crazy shit. But just, I mean, just come out. Either she forgot, she just really didn't have the time, and just like she was not in a good mental healthy place to just even try to deal with a man, let alone a fucking date. Like just, and that's like, men and women, are different because some men, we get so wrapped up in like trying to be with somebody or just trying to have somebody, because you understand it's like women get hit on a lot more than guys. I mean, that's just how it is, man. I mean, that's how our culture is. That's how our culture is set up, to where, if a woman likes a dude, they just like look at him, look down, look at him again, to just make eye contact, but they don't. But if a guy doesn't come up to him or doesn't get the signals, it's like, oh well, it's his loss. It's like, that's fucking dumb. Because it's like, if you want me, I was like, I don't know. I mean, that's why sometimes, man, I don't fuck the signals, man. I just give them my card, man. Here's my number. You want to go out sometime? Great. Don't go. It's like, I don't do that signal bullshit. I'm just like this, man. If I see a lady that who kind of tickles my fancy, like, fuck it. Only one life to live, right? Here's my card. Hi, my name's Gregory. Give me a call sometime, and we'll do something. And that's what I do, man. It's like, and yeah, but yeah, I mean that lady, man, I did not understand. It's just, but yeah, it's just one of those things, man. I mean, she just didn't have the time, man. Didn't just, or just forgot. And that's why sometimes, man, it's bad. I will say this, that men, and this is just my personal experience, men are more enthusiastic about calling a woman than a woman is about calling them. Like, men won't, from my experience, men won't forget as often as women will. I mean, men try to be, sly and cool. They try to be all Rico Suave and shit. But let me tell you, at the end of the day, most motherfuckers that I have known, even myself, we get giddy and excited when we fucking get a number or call a woman. We're like, oh shit, how long should I wait? How long does, I mean, let me tell you something, man. I'm gonna be straight up. If a woman doesn't call you within a week, she ain't gonna call. You can give it 2 weeks, I don't give a shit, but she ain't gonna call. That's just it. I mean, hell, man, if she doesn't call you within like the first 3 to 5 days, man, yeah, it's that window just kind of depletes. I mean, if your goal is to give a woman your number, great, that's cool, but just know that you may be filled up with disappointment because the simple fact is that she may not call, or she's just not interested in you, and that's just the other thing too. I mean, but yeah, so yeah, don't feel terrible for. But sometimes I think that I have that fate, kismet, destiny. Sometimes we need to be alone to figure out what the fuck is best for us. Because sometimes by having another person, by bringing another person into our bullshit, by thinking that another person is going to somehow mentally stable us, I mean, that's just asinine, and I would never wish that upon anybody. If I'm going through some mental health issues and I'm thinking that a person is going to stabilize me by being in my world, fuck that, man. I hell no, that's not good. That's not good juju. That's bad juju. I mean, that is not the right wires across, and that is not the right way of thinking. So, but yeah, but don't be afraid to be alone. It's you will get lonely. You will have those moments of weakness, but they will pass. They will pass. So don't. The only thing I can say is that for the love of God, please don't do the big S, and please don't self-harm yourself, or don't do harm to any other body too as well. You know, don't feel just because your world may feel like it's air quotes coming to an end. Don't harm yourself. Don't harm others. Endure, deal with it, ask for help. Um, Try talking with people. Try talking with somebody who may listen, even if it's a perfect stranger. Sometimes, I mean, I remember when the lady I used to date, who went with me in Florida, uh, I remember I would go to a place in Johnson City called Founders Park. I don't care. If you happen to see me and you listen to this and you happen to see me there, it's like, hey, you're handsome Cobra. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. I mean, I'm no celebrity. I'll shake your hand, or, like give you a high five, or be like, hey, cool, rock and roll, give you a thumbs up. But but yeah, I remember after that I would just walk around, and sometimes I would talk to random people. Sometimes not about us or anything, but just talk. Not about our us or anything like that, because I didn't want to think about it, right? I just wanted to, like, you know what, I want to get my mind off it. I need to get out. I need fresh air. I just need to do something. And just hearing and just talking with others and just hearing their stories and just trying to listen the best I can and not think about what's going on in my own personal life. I mean, it's a good blocker. It's a good deterrent. And I highly recommend that to people, to just talk with people you don't know. Be more sociable. Learn some social skills. Do some social studies uh, in your local neighborhood. Even if you just see it as like an experiment. I'm doing an experiment. I mean, whatever you have as a plan of attack or plan of action, just trick yourself, con yourself into saying. But the thing is, you have to get out of that current mental state, right? And that's the thing that I needed to do. I needed to get out of that current mental state of thinking about the good times and how happy uh, my current girlfriend at the time, her and I were, and stuff like that, and just where did I go wrong? What happened? Was it me? Was it her? Stuff like that. You got to get yourself out of that, and out of that funk, because you're not going to be good for yourself. You're not going to be good for anybody. Because people will see the sadness. Women will smell the desperation. They will smell the sadness coming off on you, like a wet dog, right? They will pick up on that shit. So, and it's not cute. Okay, it's not like, oh, that's so cute. No, it ain't the fucking movies, man. Just movie logic and reality, and women don't like that shit. Women like upbeat, happy motherfuckers. They don't like the troubled, some fucking past, mysterioso dudes. I mean, sometimes they do, but sometimes they do. Sometimes, a lot of times they don't. But yeah, I hope that this video slash audio helps people. I really do. I uh, I just want you to know that, hey, listen, like, you're not alone if you have mental health issues, that you're going through, and because I have my own that I have to deal with every fucking day, man, every day. And I will say this: sometimes, man, it is hard for me to get up out of bed. Like, it takes the act and will of God to get my ass out of bed. Sometimes that's how bad it gets. That's how bad this condition that I have gets. I mean, sometimes it's everything. I mean, I will go half the day and not shower, not shave, uh, or trim up my neck hair, my beard, uh, shampoo my hair. It's just one of those things. Like, sometimes I just, like, fuck it, you know, because I get that beaten by life. But then sometimes, but then like the smallest of things, just like, and I will say this though, some of the small things that I do to overcome that, to get me motivated to back into, is basically, okay, like I have a dog, so I have to take him out to go pee and poop. So that helps. It gets me going, gets me, and after that, I'm pretty much awake, so I'll make coffee. And then if there's like any dishes I didn't get from the night before, or if I let them sit in the sink overnight, basically, just to soak or whatever, I'll get those in the morning. Which is usually 6 8 hours, give or take. So I'll wash those, clean them, um, and then, well, I don't have to go to the gym. I don't have to work out. So do I need to do laundry? So I do some laundry. Do I need to cook my meals? Do I need to cook more fish, more chicken? Do I need to bake? Well, yeah, I need to do that. So, while the laundry's going, I cook. And you see where I'm going. It's like all these like little things that I need to do, because I cook so much throughout the week, is where I can just basically, I have my meals for the week. And then and so you see this pattern building, right? It's like I do one thing that leads to another thing, that leads to another thing, that leads to another thing. These are all small, but it helps me to get in. And I haven't showered, I haven't done anything yet. I'm just, other than like personal hygiene wise, I haven't done shit. But I'm doing things. I'm going outer, or outerly, and working my way inward, which is kind of fucked up if you think about it, because you should work inward and then go out. But no. In this, you got to have to reverse engineer everything, because you have to work outward. You have to do the small things. You have to do the external stuff before you can do your internal shit, because you got to get motivated to do the internal stuff. You have to motivate yourself to do the internal. Sometimes you just can't wake up, grab a brush, put a little makeup, and then fucking be right as rain, good to go, rock and roll. Sometimes you got to do fucking the external stuff to motivate yourself to do that internal, baby. That's just how it is. So, and like I said before, man, like the condition I got, it's like when I can't get out, it's not because I'm tired, like I'm physically tired. I mean, I am, but it's not because of that. It's because of, like, I have this feeling of dread. I have this feeling of, like, impending doom, almost. Like I just don't want to be alive. I mean, when you feel that way, it's like, fucking A, man. But that's something that I deal with personally, and it's not every day, but it does happen. It does, and it will happen. Sometimes it's maybe once a week. Sometimes it's not until like once every 2 weeks. Bi-weekly. Sometimes it's just like once a month. Sometimes, I mean, sometimes it's more frequent than others. I mean, it depends on, and all depends too on, like, what's going on in my life. Am I actually thinking about things? Or am I just kind of like going, like, I love working. I love working. Like, I am a workaholic. And that's no lie. That is, and the reason why is because I don't have to worry about mental health stuff, right? I don't have to worry about the condition I got. I don't have to worry about anything. I just love working, right? I love working and then going to a job like GameStop, where I can uh, have to deal with customers and stuff like that for 4, 6, 8 hours, and next thing you know, depending on my shift, and then going to the gym, working out, coming back home, feeding Watson and playing with him, and taking him out and all that jazz, and or like in the next day taking him to the park and whatever. But it's those things. Like, I love working because I don't have to worry about that stuff. I don't have to work. I just go to the job, do it, and just get paid. The only thing it's like, for the love of money, for the love of money, gotta make that money, man. It's like, that's what it is. For the love of money, gotta make that money, man. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about. That's that Bone Thugs and Harmony, baby. Mm-hmm. And but yeah, it's all for the love of money. I mean, and that's and and that's what I mean. As fucked up as that sounds, man, it's like, I love to work. I love to work, and I love working for money. I love making money. I mean, I do volunteer work too, man. But let me tell you, volunteer work does not pay the fucking bills. It's like, sometimes you do volunteer work in the hopes that people will see will see your volunteering, and maybe there's a job where you can get paid. I mean, that is some people have that motivation. I mean, I'm not saying that I do, but if it were to become a stepping stone, I wouldn't deny the job because I have bills to pay. So, and I don't look at anybody who would really be like, who would look at that way either. I couldn't fault the person for that. It's like, fuck it, man. If you get a job, you get a job, man. It's like, how hard it is to get a job these days sometimes. I mean, it's fucking difficult, man. It's like, even with a college degree, even with a master's, it's hard. It's hard. I mean, because a lot of people, they go to college, man, they don't get. I mean, what is it? They said it was like, man, I can't remember. It's like 60% of people who are like 63% of college graduates actually get a job in their field. Or I'm sorry, uh, no, over 63% of college graduates do not get a position in their field of expertise. Basically, the field that they went to. So, like, basically, if you became, like, if you have a criminal justice degree, right, and you have a degree in that, and law enforcement, basically 63% of those people will not have a job in law enforcement. That's what they're saying. So, and it's like, holy fucking shit. Yeah. That's bad, man. That's fucking bad. And I know I don't even have fucking I have a degree, and I don't even have a job in my field. I mean, I do and I don't. I mean, it's sales. And 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 stuff like that. But it's just one of those things. So, I have to do. Uh, I mean, I'm having to try and start and help start up small businesses and stuff like that. Like, basically, what I do is very kind of like consulting wise, basically helping businesses and stuff like that, and promotions, things of that nature. That's what I do, right? So, like, going out to different places, going out, uh, promoting their stuff, whether it be comic books, y- media, landscape, stuff like that. So it's one of those things. Usually, it's more around geek culture, like comic books and stuff like that. Even, like anime too. I wouldn't be opposed to that as well. But yeah, but mostly it's usually like around like comic book genre and comic books in general, and just like convention wise, what you would see at a convention. So, cosplayers and stuff like that. And yeah, but yeah, so yeah, and yeah, that's. I hope that this actually helped people. I hope that this video slash audio helped in a lot of ways. I don't know if it does. I hope I do hope that it will help someone. And that's the reason why I, like I said before, this is very therapeutic for me, but I also too want to help people. I want people to know that if hearing my voice and hearing stories of mine can help you better understand even yourself, or understand that you're not alone in the world, that other people have problems too, that they just may not be at that level that I'm at to where I can just blurt out about it, then that's cool. That's fine. I mean, like I said, I mean, I was very coy about, like, because I say condition, and but I mean, you could, anyone can figure it out, but I'm not going to confirm nor deny it. It's just one of those things where, and I'll I'll address the elephant in the room. I mean, the thing is that if a lot of employers, because like I said before, I mean, I work for GameStop, so I mean, if they find out that I have this condition, or just employers in general, like uh, like hypothetically speaking, I've been, employers do not want to hire a person, especially a war veteran who has a condition where they have episodes where they deal with mental health issues, uh, where it's it could be labeled as a disorder. It's, they don't want that. They don't want that headache, because if for some reason this person fucking just happens to wig out or have an episode or something were to happen in their store, by God, they don't want that. But also too, it's like, that's why it's a volunteer sheet, right? They can't legally have you say, do you have this, this, and this? And basically that's why you can be like, yes, no, or I refuse to answer, because you want to know, why? Because it's nobody's goddamn uh, business knowing that I have something. It's nobody's. It's, I'm volunteering this information to people, right? Or if you have something, you're volunteering that information to people. No one has a goddamn right to know what you have to deal with every single fucking day. If you live and deal with a condition, no one does. That is not their right. That is a fucking privilege, if any fucking thing. And they are privy to that fucking information, because basically that information, that if people learn about that, can be twisted and used against you. It's fucking sick how people will do that, but people will, whether it's by accident, whether it's unbeknown or unknowing to them, or they just happen to say it, uh or they have to say something off the cuff, and something just basically dissects what they fucking said, delves in deeper or deduces a situation. Basically, they're smart motherfuckers, and basically, and they kind of put two to two together, and then all of a sudden you confirm it. It's like, well, okay, yeah. I mean, they kind of had their hypotheses about like what the fuck it was, but until you confirmed it, it's like, okay, there we go. Now they have peace of mind. So, but yeah, that can be used as a weapon against you. So don't ever let someone think that, oh, that you, yeah, no, hell no. It is not anyone's right to know if you have, a mental condition, or mental health issues. Fuck them. Because I employees, Target, Walmart, they don't want people, veterans, who have especially if it's PTSD, right? If a person, hypothetically speaking, has PTSD, they don't want that shit. They don't want that. I don't give a fuck. They could say whatever. I mean, they have to say publicly that, yeah, that they, because that's discrimination. They will say, oh no, we value our men and women of the service, especially ones who have PTSD, who are in conflict and stuff like that. I mean, they're going to say the politically correct shit, but at the end of the day, that person legally is a liability in their eyes. As much as it may hurt the people morally to say that, they are factually a liability, ethically. And that's what's fucked up. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, that's why it's just, that's why you got to be coy. You got to be a bit secretive. You got to be a bit around the bush about it. But that's the thing, man. It's like you have to, because people knowing too much can hurt you in the end, unfortunately. It's like what they talk about, like, you know, something biting you back on the ass, or coming back around biting you in the ass. Yeah, that's what that means. Because you're volunteering this information. Next thing you know, it's like, yep, yeah, it just wound up biting me in the ass. Yeah, it's my own damn fault, you know. That's what people mean. But yeah, but also too, it's just it's a fine line. And I'm not saying to I'm at this point, I'm comfortable with expressing that yes, I have a condition that developed from the military, probably developed during my first deployment, but I'm not going to, you know, tell you what that condition is. I mean, I'll leave some breadcrumbs and I'll let you think of what it may be. But I am not going to not confirm nor deny. But I have my own mental health issues that I deal with. And here are the things that kind of help me, and here are the things that happen, and here are the things that I don't want to happen. You know, and hopefully I can help people maybe overcome or inspire them to try to overcome their mental health, so they can live better for not themselves, but the people that they're around who love them and respect them and want to be with them, right, on the journey of life. And with that being said, I am going to bring this to a close right now, because I can rant on for a little bit, but I'm going to just bring it to a close. I'm going to say, hey, everybody, thank you so much for listening to me ramble and rant on and try to gather my thoughts as best I can to make a coherent visual audio vid pod. I thank you, everybody who listens to this. And if you want, please, as always, like the video, subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends, share it with people you know on the social interwebs. Hopefully this, my hope is that if you share this, I hope that it helps people. I really, truly do. Hand to God, I hope that it helps. That's all I want. I just want for people to know that they're not alone. Okay? And it's not bravery. It's not me wanting attention. It's not me thinking I'm better than a person because I'm willing to. It's because no, it's none of that stuff. The reason why I'm doing this is because, number one, I want to help people. Because some people, they're timid and maybe they can't, right? Maybe they just can't, because they have too much going on in their lives that they can't speak how I am, very frankly, and stuff like that about things, right? But I'm in a place where I am comfortable with myself, with who I am, with telling these stories, with telling my life, and hopefully it can help others. I am, hand to God. I mean, I'm comfortable with that. With you know, and that's why, you know, bringing up the past, bringing up my mom, my father, and the divorce and stuff, I'm comfortable with that right now. And like I said, I mean, if they, I mean, they probably would have problems because I'm bringing up, their shit. But I mean, but this is my perspective. This is what I saw as a kid, as an adolescent, as a teenager, as a young man, right? Or developing into a young man before I joined the military. These are things that from my perspective, these are my thoughts on them. Right or wrong, these are my thoughts. But I hope to God that this can help others. That's the number one thing. I just want to help others. And like I said before, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share with your friends and people and total strangers. Or if you know somebody who's going through some issues, some like mental health related, hey, share this with them. And or if you yourself are going through some mental health issues, by all means, please, if my voice helps, if this helps kind of calm you down, soothes you, helps you get into a better state of mind, then that's beautiful. That's great. I mean, I'm glad. So love to all. God bless. And as always, aloha.